Hey you guys, my name is Nyla. Some people call me Nye, some people call me Lie. It's whatever you prefer. And welcome back to the second video of my YouTube channel. I was supposed to put out a video last week. It's been about 2 weeks now and a day since I released my first YouTube channel. And I had content, I had videos to show you guys that I had already recorded and was going to edit and upload. But given the state of where we are right now in the world and in our country, I kind of was just like, and that can really wait, and decided that this video that I will be showing you guys today is something that is extremely more appropriate and fitting for what needs to be addressed. And so I'm no like huge like political, you know, like activists and whatnot. You have all the right terminology and like, you know, the complete ins and outs of the things to say or like, you know, what's going on. But living in this world as a Black person, as a Black sister, as a Black daughter, as a Black friend, cousin, a Black employee, as a Black Christian, it is a very difficult, unspeakable, undescribable time in which we are living in. So last week was the second hardest week I had so far in 2020. And it is the most difficult time I've ever had in quarantine. I know we've been quarantined at home, and I know that there's a lot of, you know, changes in our state and our country right now. Has it affected me? Yes, it has tremendously. It has affected so many people, but I think this right here does not compare to what I personally have been experiencing. And what I felt last week was something that I've never felt in a very long time. In a very long time. And I will be honest, speaking as a believer, I have to be honest in how I feel and how I felt, because I really had to self-examine myself and really ask God to really deal with me, because I was having a really difficult time and not hating a lot of people. Roll the clip.
What's up, Jimmy? Get out of here.
What words do you have for that? What words do you have for this? You know what I said? It's one thing to read it in a book. It's one thing to read it in a textbook. And history was my favorite subject in high school and even in college. That's one thing. But to experience this and to see it firsthand and to be in the moment and to watch it from your TV and to watch it from afar is a whole totally different feeling, a whole totally different experience that I have never felt before a day in my life. Amy Cooper, the white woman who allegedly said that a Black man in Central Park was threatening her and her dog. Roll the clip.
Don't come close to me.
Please take your phone off.
Please don't come close to
And
me.
I'm taking a picture and calling the cops.
Please call the cops. Please call the cops.
I'm going to tell them there's an African American man threatening my life.
Please tell them whatever you like.
Excuse me? I'm sorry, I'm in the Ramble, and there is a man, African American, he has a bicycle helmet. He is recording me and threatening me and my dog. There is an African-American man. I am in Central Park. He is recording me and threatening myself and my dog. And my... I'm sorry, I can't hear you either. I'm being threatened by a man in the ramble. Please send the cops immediately. I'm in Central Park in the ramble.
So sis, you just gonna lie like that? You gonna lie like that, Karen? Because in the great words of Amanda Seales, and this is me frankly speaking, I'm not gonna bite my tongue. The Karens of the world are a menace to society. Let's be frank. And I would not be apologetic for those who feel some way about my comment, but that is how I strongly feel, and I support that statement 100%, because how many times have we seen this over and over and over and over and over again? And this is not to negate or minimize the experiences of people who have gone through really traumatic situations, but let's just call a spade a spade. Let's call a thing a thing. We've seen this plenty of times. Plenty of times. So what you did, Amy, aka Karen, is that you decided to pick up your phone after a black man told you to do what was already instructed for every single person in the park to do while you were in the ramble, which is an area of Central Park where I believe where people come to watch the birds. So a person, a black man who was doing what he normally does as a hobby, something that he enjoys, instructed you to please put your leash calmly, put your dog on a leash. And that was too much for you. The instructions was too much for you. So you decided that you was going to pick up your phone, make a phone call, and lie, blatantly lie to the police and ask them to come in because a black man, an African-American man, was threatening you and Toto. And so you not only stated not once that he was African-American, but you stated it twice. For what? For what? I have a huge problem with that. A huge problem with that. And so the third time she went on, she put on an Oscar Academy Award winning performance for that one, because she was like, please, this man is threatening, please come. As if she was so in distress that her dog was totally in distress. So what you thought is that you were going to endanger a black man, even at the expense of killing your own dog. That's the world that we're living in. Now you don't have a job. Now you don't have a dog. One of the biggest takeaways that I got from this entire week is that you never know the weight of your consequences until after. Until you see it all unfold. You never know the weight of your consequences. And so then now you have literally put yourself out on national TV for the whole entire world to see you for the racist that you are. For the danger you are to society, to black people in society, because that essentially is what you did. I have a problem with that. And being that I'm a person who walks Central Park every day with my mother, one would only think the change of perspective in which you see the world and how you encounter and walk by the very same people that you walk by every single day. And you wonder and you look around and you say, are you one of them? Or are you capable of doing what she did? Or do you even look at me that way? That's a scary thing. That's a really scary, a very disheartening thing to grapple with. That was the first thing that pissed me all the way off. I mean, shoot. Moving on to, I literally have no words even speaking about this situation right now. And I was very emotionally and mentally and I would say spiritually kind of really messed up. It definitely did hit a nerve there. It definitely hit a spot there. And I have to be honest about that. The murder of George Floyd, which we have seen Eric Garner. We've seen this with Philando Castile. But this particular situation, I think watching him plead for his life several times, call for his mother, express himself through him suffocating, that he could not breathe. And I watched a man on TV be murdered in broad daylight by the police on Kansi camera. I watched it with my own eyes. I watched life. I watched words in life leave his body.
While another stands over them, you can hear Floyd pleading for air.
Please let me stand. I can't breathe, officer.
The officer who pressed his knee to Floyd's neck has been identified as Derek Chauvin.
Kill me, man.
He doesn't let up until the 46-year-old's listless body is put on a stretcher.
I can only imagine what it must have been like for those who were standing in front of him pleading with the cops for this man's life. The rage that put me in, I cannot stop thinking about it for hours, for days. The day it happened, it was in my mind all the time. All of the time. All of the time. On my mind all of the time. I was in such rage, y'all. I'm telling you. I promise you. And as a Christian, this really bothered me because I was fighting my way to understand what the devil is happening right now. I had to ask God, I said, God, what is going on? I didn't even want to pray. And I'm being frank with y'all. I feel justified in how I felt in my rage and in my hate. I felt justified in that. And I'm going to be completely frank with you. I did. And I realized, like, even the thought of praying about this was just like, it was off the table for me. I wanted to go boom, boom, boom. That's the kind of time I was on. I was done. I was done. I still feel it. And I'm a very emotional person, very emotional and very impulsive person, which that's something that I'm extremely dealing with. I was triggered. I was done. I was hurt. I was angry. And that was the only thing, those were the only feelings I could even express. To watch that officer look in the eyes of the camera, look in the eyes of those who were recording him, what his face read was that, I'm going to kill this right in front of you. I'm going to kill this man right in front of you. And what are you going to do about it? I'm invincible. I am protected by the law. We get away with this. So what I have to do is step out of the natural and realize that this is a spiritual warfare. This is spiritual. The enemy used him as an instrument to carry out his plan. And we know the enemy's plan. He comes to what? To kill, steal, and destroy. Only 3 things he came to do. Only 3 things he came to do. This is where we are at. And so the enemy is having a ball right now. Because sometimes you really do have to fight when you're going through a situation and what is around you looks completely different from what God is telling you and what God has showed you and what God has said already and what he has said in his word can make you believe otherwise, that would allow you to respond and to act otherwise. I have to believe in the middle of this that God is still good, that God is still sovereign, and that he allows these situations to happen for his glory. And so you can't go through the bad, you can't experience the good, you can't experience victory without going through a battle. Because it takes work to get there. It takes some mountains, it takes some valleys, it takes some battles, it takes some wars, it takes some fighting to be victorious. That's the best way that I know how to describe it. There is a small fear inside of me that does worry, especially about my brother who is black, who is tall, who is well built, and who is seen as a threat to society. If we're speaking frank, when he leaves the house, I won't lie to you and say that my mind does not wonder if he's coming back home sometimes. Like, even when he went out one time to a party, my brother never really goes out to a party. I was texting him every hour on the hour because I was scared, because I just wanted to know that he was breathing. Not if he was enjoying his time. The fact that I can see bubbles going across my phone lets me know that you are breathing. I'm okay. I'm okay until you walk through the door. So you do wonder if your brother's going to make it home. You do wonder if your dad is going to make it home. If they'll get stopped at a stoplight for whatever the reason, or they get pulled over, or they get racially profiled for whatever the reason, just because of their existence as a black king, as a black man. I went to a protest this Friday, and it was the most emotional, eye-opening, transformative that I've ever experienced in my entire life. Take a look. So I just got off of work and I'm on my way right now, but I'm trying to figure out where they're at. We are at Folly Square, downtown, right by the Brooklyn Bridge. No peace! No peace! No peace! No peace! No peace! No peace! Fuck the police! Fuck the police! Fuck the police! Fuck the police! So a lady just said that we're by the Brooklyn Bridge. She said that if we go through the bridge, that there will be cops waiting for us on the opposite side, waiting for us, and that's where we'll probably get arrested. So.
No husband, I do not fucking care. I'm 60, I live my life with it. I'm waiting.
Oh my gosh. Y'all, it's getting pretty intense. I'm not gonna lie. It's getting pretty intense. No peace! No peace! No peace! No peace! No peace! Always, y'all, always. He wanna record, we can record too. No problem.
This is the New York City
Our streets! Our streets! Our streets! He think he supposed to be scared.
Pedestrians utilizing the sidewalk must ensure that sufficient space is available for use by other pedestrians. Arrest and charged with disorderly conduct, violation of New York State penal law. This is the New York City Police Department. Please be advised that pedestrians are not permitted to walk in the street or roadway. Pedestrians are also prohibited from obstructing sidewalks. Pedestrians utilizing the sidewalk must ensure that sufficient space is available for use by other pedestrians.
He was supposed to be
If you
scared.
unlawfully obstruct pedestrian traffic or walk in the street or roadway, you may be placed under arrest and charged with disorderly conduct, a violation of New York State criminal law.
To be in that moment, to be a part of something that is bigger than yourself, that you finally feel like You look around and you're just like, I'm so happy I did this. I'm so happy I stood up for this. I'm so happy I was vocal about this. I'm so happy I'm fighting for this. That's what I felt in that moment. That's what I felt. I felt proud. I felt love. I felt important. I felt heard. I felt empowered. And I felt belonged. I belong here with them. I belong here fighting with them. I belong here stating my piece. I belong chanting. I belong saying what I have to say because my presence and my existence matters in this world, just like anybody else. In the clip, there is a guy who was next to me who was talking to a police officer, a black police officer.
And you know it. When you come out of here, you're safe because you wear that uniform. I'm telling you now, your nephew, your son, your cousins, your mom, your dad that are not cops, they get pulled over illegally. They get their foot on their neck. Nobody knows they are related to you.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, you're fighting their battle.
Exactly.
You turn a blind eye to this, you justify the injustice that happens to your people.
They don't care because they are good house niggers, okay? The house niggers, they love their master.
Not him. He's an exception. I'm gonna target him. That's why they moved him here. He was tearing up. He couldn't take it, people.
He knows.
He couldn't take it. That shit burned. That shit burned this officer. He's seen the truth. He can't even look at the sign and read it because it hurts. It's okay, brother. Let it out. I know you don't want to look at me, but you hear me. That shit hurts.
Several times this police officer has been moved from throughout the line because the boy that was sitting next to me was basically focused on him. And he got through to him because what we saw is that black man, that black cop, began to have tears well up in his eyes as he was speaking to him. Because he understands that as a black man, as a black son, a black brother, a black uncle, a black friend, a black cousin, whatever he is to whoever he is, he knew exactly what's going on. Now, the reason he may be exempt is because he is protected by that uniform, by a badge. And some of them are not even protected by the same uniform or that badge. If we're speaking frank here. To see that moment from two black men on the other side of the fence was something that broke my heart. I had to step away from the crowd and I cried because I didn't want to be embarrassed in front of, I didn't want to start crying hysterically in front of so many people. So I stepped away and I cried. I cry because they don't get it. They don't get it. They refuse to get it. A willingness to refuse to understand. And so they don't get that you don't live with the fear of having to wonder if your son or your brother is going to come back home. Or if they're going to get stopped for whatever the reason. They don't get to have that same kind of worry, that same fear that one day your black son may be, that black man may be on national television one day with his name going across the TV because he's been killed. So as a black woman, as a black sister and a black daughter, we share the burden just as much as we share with our black brothers. And so it's hard for a lot. It's hard for all of us, and we're tired. The country is on tilt right now. The world is on tilt right now. When I mean tilt means that it's on shroom. Like it's not even like it's chaotic. That's what's happening. And to witness this in real time, and to understand that this will be forever a stain in American history, a stain in my memory, is something that I don't even know. I really don't know what to say. So before I close out and leave you with this, is that I had to really ask God to deal with me. And I'm going to repent. I am. And ask for forgiveness, because what was in my heart is not who I am as a person. And so I have to be honest in sharing that, because that's where I'm at right now. And I know that there are other people out there and other Christians out there who may be possibly feeling the same way that I'm feeling, and that is understandable, but that is something that we really internally have to deal with and grapple with and assess and process ourselves through this. And God is going to really have, along with doing your self-work, God is really going to have to deal with that part that's hurting and that is angry. And so he doesn't invalidate our feelings. He's not a God who does that. He's not a father who does that. And so sometimes I feel that way, like, God, okay, like, I shouldn't feel this way, but we are humans. Taking this to our dad, to our father, for counsel, for guidance, and for peace and love and understanding to deal with this and to go through this is where I need to be right now. So I will be intentional about doing that after this video. I will never stop fighting. I will never stop being vocal and expressing and advocating for myself, for my community, for my people, for those who I need to be supporting. I won't be silenced. I won't minimize. I will not fear anybody, anyone, anything. Every black man, black boy, black girl, black woman, black child, your existence, your life, your presence is essential and it matters in this world. I beg you to really take the time to understand that and to hold that and to really let that sink in. I pray that you find out that you are loved. I pray that you come to the knowledge that you are loved by God. And I pray that in Christ you will find your purpose. You are wanted, you are loved, you are needed. I can't express that enough. You are beautiful, you are handsome, you are intellectual, you are light. Walk in that, be that, be conscious of that. And I love you. I don't have any other words to share right now, because I feel like I've been speaking so much over the weekend, over last week, and I just kind of wanted to make this video and share with you guys something that's dear to me. And if I didn't film this, if I didn't record this, that would have been a huge disservice to myself and to what I'm about and to what I want to bring to the channel. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you all. Do not forget to like, do not forget to comment. Leave some love in the comment, whether it's to me or somebody else. Spread some love, spread some joy, spread some Jesus juice. And do not forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications for the next video. I love you guys. God loves you and you are important. And thank you so much for your support. Until next time, 3 things to always remember. Always. Love God, love yourself, and love others. Peace.
Came over.